Hello, hello. Good evening. I am so excited to be with you here tonight for a little bit of restorative, or more rather, we're going to change it up just a little bit and get on the juicier side of the slowing down and do a yin flow. More like a yin restorative, because of course we want that relaxing, super comfortable side of it as well. But we're going to start with yin. It's a little juicier and actually quite satisfying. And I'll get more into the yin and kind of describing the poses as we get into it. But for now, just make sure that you have your pillows or bolsters, your blankets, your strap, and your blocks or books. And of course, you don't have to have everything. You can always have more things like an eye pillow to go with, whatever it is that you need for your practice. Just make sure that in one way or another that you have all of the support available. I think that's one of the other big parts of doing any sort of restorative class. The first, it's all about feeling good. The second, it's all about allowing yourself to have that support. Now, with that said, as I mentioned earlier, we're doing some yin, so it's not going to be the same start as usual. You're going to want to definitely have your strap with you because that's what we're going to be using most of tonight. Alrighty, without further ado, let's get into our sequence. Grounding. We always start with grounding. Legs crossed in Sukhasana, hands cupped over your knees, or palms face the sky, whichever feels most comfortable or natural to you. Again, if your knees are sore, go ahead, stretch your legs out. If your low back is sore, go ahead, prop yourself up on a blanket. The support starts right away. Okay. Inhale, long, deep inhale. And exhale, allow your eyes to close. And just to check in the first few moments to see where you are today. Perhaps it's the first time all day that you've checked in with yourself like this, or perhaps it's the first time all week, maybe since last week, since the last class. How are you doing? And as you do this initial check in, and you begin to tune back into your inner world, notice more, do less. What can you let go of right now? Can you let go of the furrow between your brows, of any tension that you may be holding along the column of your neck and your shoulders? There we go. Let your arms hang heavy by your side. Your wrists or your hands fully supported by between it and the contact of your knees. Can you soften your hips and your inner leg line? Can you soften the crown of your head? Gently coaxing that monkey mind at the same time to let go. And if you were to check in with your monkey mind, and it literally was a little monkey, what is it doing right now? Is it jumping around like a little jelly bean, throwing a little monkey tantrum? Maybe it's a little bit timid, a little bit anxious. Wherever it is, let it be there. And maybe even notice what it is that this monkey mind needs, this little monkey inside your head. Not to force your agenda on it in any way, but truly, honestly looking at what it needs. Perhaps if it is scared, it needs a hug or needs words of reassurance. Maybe it wants to run off into the wild, into the jungle. Whatever it is that it's asking you for, let it have it. Actively give it to it. And just notice as you release your grip on it, your expectations of how it should or shouldn't behave, that it begins to release its grip on you. Constant chatter and the jumping around. And then just let it all go. Come back to your breath. Long, deep inhale through your nose. And exhale. Slow, slow. Release expectation and anticipation altogether. You're here now. You may even repeat that towards yourself. I'm here now. Yeah, you've arrived. There's nowhere else that you need to be, at least not for the next 60 minutes. And there's nothing else that you need to do if all you did for the next 60 minutes. So just enjoy every inhale and every exhale. You've done well. And there's truly nothing more perfect that you can be doing. In all the yogic teachings, in all the spiritual teachings, the Buddhist teachings, the mindfulness meditation teachings, the teachings that try to bring us back to our wholeness that we crave so much. We crave so hard to be whole, to find our true selves and to be that. And all of those teachings leads back to one simple thing. Simple, but not easy, right? Presence. When you are present, you are well. Okay, one releasing breath. A long, deep inhale through your nose. And don't hold back. Exhale, side out through your mouth. Gently flutter your eyes open and allow a soft gaze about 2 feet in front of you. Draw your knees together. Give yourself a hug. Slow, slow. And so let's begin. Inhale, rise back up. Draw the soles of your feet together. We're going to take a butterfly posture. So with Yin Yoga, we take these postures for much longer, 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes even more. But we won't go too much more today, just so you have a ballpark. Hang on to the outer edges of your feet. Allow your inner leg line to soften. You're not forcing anything down. You're just relaxing the inner leg line. Yeah. This feels good. Fold forward. We're going to do most of this without props, but of course, the invitation is always open. So if you do find that you would like a bolster or maybe some blocks underneath your forehead, a little bit of support here, go ahead, allow yourself to have that. And just take a moment here to notice your breath. Are they as long and full and deep as they can be? If not, shift now so that at least for the next 5 breaths, they are full and long and deep. 5 breaths. And there's no rush. Take it slowly. And after that 5th breath, still continue with those long and full and deep breaths. But begin to bring your awareness into your body and begin to notice the sensations that you're feeling. What Yin teaches us is to notice our body sensations beyond good and bad. And I tease that it's because in yin postures, it's kind of true. Sometimes the discomfort is fine. Sometimes the discomfort is part of it. So, how can you tell if it's good discomfort or bad discomfort? Well, if there's anything that feels tingly or sharp or burny, feels like as your bones are grinding together in any way, that is not good discomfort. And if that's what you're feeling, shift. Perhaps if you're folding forward, ease up a little bit. Sometimes it's a matter of shifting just a little bit, like a millimeter, a centimeter to the left or to the right. And so when we practice these poses, it's not so much about how it looks, but how it feels in your body. That's what really matters. On that same token, if you're feeling any pulling in that low back, a lot of times there's sensitivity there. Prop yourself up on a blanket. Give yourself that space. And then, of course, if this is any other type of discomfort, you're good. Stay where you are and breathe. And that's the other thing with yin. Teaches us to stay present with what is, regardless how tumultuous it is on the outside, how stormy the weather can look. And teaches us to strengthen our inner connection to that ever present sense of stillness, peace, and clarity that's within us. Long, deep inhale. Long, deep exhale. And inhale. Come on all the way back up. If you fold it over, gently use your hands to draw your knees back together. Just keep note of where your strap is and keep it close to you. Sweep your feet toward the bottom of the mat and take a rebound here in Shavasana. Any joints that have been replenished, any energy centers that have been unblocked, this is where you're going to feel the stream of flow, the release. And it all happens in just a few moments. So find stillness and notice. Nice. Whenever you're ready, draw that left knee up toward the ceiling, left sole of the foot on the ground, and cross. A reclined figure four, right leg over your left. If this is good for you, stick around here. You could place that left foot on a block for a little bit more. Or if you're really in for or up for a deeper hip opening, then go ahead, pick up that left leg altogether. Use your hands and clasp behind your left hamstring or your left shin, your choice. Keep your toes pointed slightly up toward the ceiling. Keep your knees activated and that you're drawing that right knee out toward the bottom of the mat. Maybe there's a gentle drawing in of the left knee. There's still a sense of ease to this. There's still a sense of ease to this. Is there anywhere in your body that's gripping that doesn't need to, that's doing unnecessary work? Keep your jaws slightly open, your tongue away from the roof of your mouth with ease. What happens when you're given this space of silence? So, like usually is coupled with mindfulness practice, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. You could be talking in yin, but because you're holding these poses for a longer period of time, it does lend itself to a mindfulness practice. So, what happens when you remain in silence? Gently allow your left foot to come down, uncross your right from your left. Lengthen your legs out in front of you. Just notice what you notice. And then bring a bend back into both knees. Take your strap. Hug your right leg, that same leg, back into your chest. Take the strap over the big toe to the little toe. Nice. And then go ahead, extend that right leg up toward the sky. If it doesn't hurt your back in any way, go ahead, extend that left leg down onto the mat. If you have the bandwidth to, you can take your peace fingers and wrap it over top of your big toes instead. So, your choice how you want to take this posture. So, always start by noticing your body sensation. We always move slow into our postures with full body awareness. And after you've established that you're good, you are in no way experiencing any of the bad discomfort, any of the tingling or the burning or the bones grinding together, then begin to notice more. If you do notice any bad sensations, change. Change by bringing maybe a bend into your knees. Maybe your leg doesn't have to straighten up so much. Change by maybe shifting your feet to the left or to the right a little bit more. Okay, after you're done adjusting, notice more through your body sensations. How do the bottoms of your feet feel? Your right foot feel? Can you sense your big toe? How does your big toe feel? Maybe you might have to give it a wiggle just to remind yourself where it is. You sense the back of your calves, the backs of your ankle. And just staying there with that sensation. If you wanted me to feel the sensation just like you, how would you describe it to me? What is it like? How about your hamstrings? Can you notice in detail the sensation along your hamstring? Finally, noticing your upper body, the general sensation of your upper body as your right leg is raised up toward the ceiling. How does that feel? And gently draw your right knee back into your chest, releasing your hold from the strap. Release the strap to your side and lengthen that right leg out beside the left. Take a few moments here, noticing what you notice. Sometimes, as the energy gets released, as the joints get replenished, you feel almost like a cooling or a warming sensation, depending. Sometimes it feels so good, like right after a massage, as if your whole body got the memo to just let go. Can you feel the difference between your right versus your left leg? When you're ready, abandon that right knee, right sole of the foot down on the ground, left leg crosses over the right, recline pigeon. Take your time, move slowly into your variation, whether you want your feet down on the ground, on a block, or to pick up that right leg all together. You may notice a difference in your left hip versus your right. Usually one side of our body is tighter. And then just be. What happens when you are allotted the space of silence? Long, deep inhale. And exhale. Gently allow that right foot to come down. Uncross your left leg from your right. Lengthen your legs out in front of you. Lots of work on the hips tonight. Just notice what you notice. Letting go as quickly as possible. And then gently bring a bend into your knees. Take that strap, hug your left knee into your chest, place it from your big toe all the way to your little toe. Nice. Stretch that left foot all the way up toward the ceiling. And if it doesn't hurt your back in any way, go ahead, stretch that right leg back down. Nice. And just sensing at the beginning the overall sensation of that left leg, how it's doing, making any necessary mini, or we should even call them micro adjustments as needed. Perhaps a little bend in the knee or shifting that leg to the left or to the right. And then once you have yourself situated, then notice the sensation of your left foot, the sensation of the sole of your left foot. Sensation along the back of your ankles, the back of your calf. How does this side feel different compared to the right? It's different about your left calf. And how about the back of your left hamstring? What's the sensation there? How does it feel? Is there any part of you that's unnecessarily doing work that you can let go of? Long deep inhale. Long deep exhale. Bring a bend into that left knee. Slowly and gently allow it to lengthen right beside your right. And find stillness. Hug both knees into your chest and tip on over to one side or the other. Use your hands to help you up into a tabletop position. You're going to get just a little bit active. Coming into dragon pose. Step forward with that right foot. Now your hands can be over either side of that right foot, or you place both hands toward the inner edge of that right foot. So what we're really getting here is not just a little bit of that right hip, but really the front of that left hip flexor. Oh, there's so many good things about this one, even though it's a little more juicy, a little more active. And we are going to do this one because I'm just now that the weather's better, I'm assuming everyone's going outside a little more too, right? Like for hikes or walks or something like that. And or even if you aren't, if you're doing a lot of sitting, this is really good as well because it really opens up the hip flexors. And you're settling into this posture as you have been all along, taking note of how the sensations in the body are, making any necessary adjustments. This means that you place a block under or book underneath your hands for some height if you need to take a little less intensity. And feel free to shift around. You're not shifting very far, just a millimeter, just a centimeter, maybe a little more forward, a little more back, right until you get into that really good spot in your left hip flexor. You may even choose to open up toward the outer edge of that right foot. This one is a little more active because it's a little more intense. And that intensity is so telling. What happens when you're allotted the space of silence and you're experiencing maybe a little bit of discomfort? Where does that monkey mind go? Are you able to stay connected to that ever present sense of stillness, peace, and clarity within you? You might be saying, no, get me out of this pose. And that's okay. Never any judgment, just awareness. Awareness is the first step to making a change because only when you become aware of how you react and how you respond to discomfort, to challenges, then can you choose to make a different choice if you so wish. And that's why I said that these more intense postures are telling. How you experience this discomfort on the mat is reflective of how you deal with challenges off of the mat. And there is no judgment, just awareness. And now that you're aware, we can make a shift right away. See if you can soften just a little bit, even just 1%. Soften your body, the part that doesn't need to be activated, and soften your mind. Perhaps adding a message to yourself that's positive and reinforcing. Something along the lines of, I can do this. I'm still connected to that place of stillness within me. Or that place of stillness within me is always available. Or simply to just anchor yourself in your breath. Long, full, deep inhale. Long, deep exhale. You did it. Gently draw yourself back. Crocodile pose. It's almost like the opposite side of Shavasana. Come down onto your belly, opposite hand to opposite elbow. Feet toward the outer edge of the mat. And just fall forward. Letting go and noticing what you're noticing. Slow, slow. Okay, when you're ready, gently come back up into tabletop position. Come on to the other side. Left foot steps toward the outer edge of the mat. Your hands toward the inner edge of that left foot maybe, or one hand on either side of that left foot. And your choice, if you want more intensity, you're going to lean forward a little bit. If you want a little less, you can lean back. You don't have to take max intensity. Make your necessary adjustments. Tune into your body sensations. Anything falls into that category of bad discomfort, shift. We already discussed all the tools that you can use when we're on the other side. As the intensity of this posture sets in, and you begin to experience discomfort, but good discomfort in this pose. And also, now that you're aware of where your monkey mind, where you naturally default to in the face of discomfort, of a challenge, what can you do differently? What do you want to do differently to move through this challenge? What do you want to believe about yourself as you move through this challenge? Long, deep inhale. And exhale. Nice. Gently draw your way back into crocodile pose. Coming onto your belly and find stillness right away. And then, like a pancake, just flip on over onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. And let's take a short twist to complete our practice. Gently allow your knees to fall over to the left, your arm out toward the right. And you want this one to feel good. So changing the position of your legs in any way that you need to either deepen your twist, to be as effortless as possible. And then inhale, knees come back to center. Allow them to tip on over to the to the right. Your arm out to the left, gaze to the left. Inhale, knees come back to center. Nice. And then Shavasana. Allow your legs to come out in front of you, your arms down beside you, and take the time to set yourself up. Maybe a pillow underneath your knees to help support that low back. Becoming now as comfortable as possible. An eye pillow over your eyes, or maybe a blanket over your body. Your arms down beside you, palms face the sky. Ensuring that your shoulder blades are nice and flat down against the mat. And then settle in with one long, deep inhale. And exhale, side out through your mouth. Letting go of any remaining occurrences, experiences, or thoughts that do not serve you. Do that one more time. Long, deep inhale through your nose. And exhale. Side out through your mouth. Sink in, sink down. We did a lot of hip opening today, some quite intense hip opening, actually. And so we've already made space. We've already released the excess tension that's been pent up. Releasing the stressors, the occurrences that have been held in our body that we've purged out. And so in Shavasana, let's bring the intention to the integration, as well as mindfully filling this newfound space that's been released through the hips, and filling that up with rejuvenation, nourishing this newfound space. So focus on your inhales. When you inhale, replenish, rejuvenate. Nice exhale, letting go. Inhale, replenish, rejuvenate. Feeling the sense of aliveness in your body. And allowing with each inhale the sense of aliveness to permeate through all parts of your body. As you continue to soften from your head all the way down to your toes, and you allow your body to release tension and fill up with a sense of rejuvenation. Same feeling like a warm blanket. Sink in more. Allow yourself to fall into a feeling of being held. To recognize and connect with an ever present loving force, an expansion of that ever present sense of stillness within you, that ever sense of peace. There's also this ever present sense of loving force that wants to, that desires to help you, to support you, to hold you. And can you allow yourself to bask in this love? that's always around you? Can you let yourself believe that there is this love that's all around you, available to you? If even for just a moment, if even just for Shavasana, for the sake of replenishing, the sake of rejuvenating. And as you allow yourself to sink into this loving support, imagine the softening of your whole being when you know that no matter what you do or don't do, that you are loved, that no matter what, you're enough. Noticing your chest softening, the insides of your lips softening, your eyes and the space between your brows soften. A full body smile. If you're able to, stay here in Shavasana and drift even deeper into the sense of loving support. And if you do need to move on with your day, then wake up ever so gently and ever so slowly, keeping within you this access to the ever present sense of loving support. Wherever you are, I'll leave you here, my hands coming up to heart center in Anjali Mudra. Wishing you a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste.